guys, hope you guys are having a good day. Today I'm going to do a little quick demo on this Nikon entry-level D3100 camera. Okay, so it comes with a Nikon lens, similar to Canon, auto and manual focus, and you just attach it like anything else. It's a standard kit lens. This is a really old camera, guys, so I'm sort of kind of like, I've had a little play with this, and I will just kind of do a little demo, but I find it very sort of cumbersome because of the new sort of cameras that you can buy now. So switch it on, basically it's over here, so switch on the camera, and you've got your manual, your aperture, shutter and program mode on this one. You've got your macro, which is quite nice, sports shot, baby shot, scenic shots, portrait shots, flash off and auto. Okay, so all your settings for this Nikon D3100, put it back into manual mode. You've got small and quality, I think, continuous burst mode and timer over here as well. So if you want to put it onto, I don't know, small, okay, so if I put it on small, I've got it on. I'm going to go back to my menu, and here is my menu. Now, I find this menu very, very old school in terms of the way it looks, the way it sort of kind of looks. However, I do like some things about it. So, for example, this is your shutter, this is your aperture, and these are all your settings on it. So if I go back into it, if I want to change my shutter, it's basically over here. And I quite like this wheel, so it gives you this kind of wheel, which tells you that it is going up and down. Okay, so big, larger and open, larger and slower, larger and bigger, well, smaller and larger openings, shall I say? And that's quite nice. If you click on this Q button, it doesn't do anything. If you click on this button, it doesn't do anything. If you click and pull this, it takes you into your live view. It's not touchscreen, so if I click like this, it won't sort of, do touchscreen sort of features, which is, well, nowadays it's like, you're kind of doing that, waiting for something to happen, and it doesn't happen, and you're like, ah. But anyway, go back there, you go back to your main menu. You got your button to delete pictures, you got your button to press OK, and because I'm a Canon user, I'm really struggling with this wheel. Like, it's just got literally left up, down, left, right icons. I'm used to the wheels going around, which is a lot more easier for you to navigate through the settings. So I'm finding that quite difficult to adjust to. This button here takes me to my menu. And again, here you can change things like your quality, your file size if you're shooting in RAW, for example. You can go to white balance and change the white balance to whatever you wish. One thing I do like about this camera, it gives you a little visual. So for example, if you're shooting in auto, in transcendent lighting, so that's your house lighting, cool white lighting, so in an office, flash off, auto lighting, so this is quite a nice feature. I quite like that, to tell you the truth. And again, if you click on this OK button, it will take you back to your main menu. So if I press an ISO, and you can change the ISOs on. Again, if it gives you a little visual to tell you what's the best for 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600. 3,200, and I think that's practically what it goes up to nowadays. Some cameras go up to the 50s and 60s and 70,000. So this camera is very old, and it doesn't have a huge ISO range. So again, click on this button here, autofocus. Again, autofocus, so it'll give you like little visuals to signify which would be the best option for auto, single servo auto, continuous servo auto, if you, for example, doing sports photography, and manual autofocus. Okay, so that's quite a nice feature, and most people are going to be shooting these types of images, so you can just sort of select the right feature for yourself. Then you've got area of zonal focal points. So again, you can sort of single focal point, dynamic focal point, or 3D. And again, if you are a visual person, and you are going to be probably a visual person if you're photographing, there's a little visual there to signify what the settings would be best appropriate for what you are shooting for. The next one would be metering. So again, metering, there is a lot of spot metering, matrix metering, center weighted, and spot metering. So those are again useful, and it will give you again a visual to tell you which will be the most suitable settings for what you're shooting. So again, I'm going to click on this button here, Active dynamic mode, on and off. Okay, video size. My days, this one goes up to 1080p. Wow, for an old camera, that's pretty decent. And you've got your exposure compensation here as well, and you can increase and decrease it, and it'll give you your visual to signify again how much exposure you are digitally adding to your scene. Again, click on this button here, this button over here. It will tell you what you've got shot, and if you want to delete, you can click delete and press. Let me try that. Delete. Oh gosh, see, this is what I don't like about this camera. It's quite cumbersome. So you know, basically delete, view, delete, yes, delete. Okay, I might be wrong on that, but double check with me. Then you've got your menu. So in your menu, you've got your camera settings. So you've got things, and again, you can hover up and down this menu and change whatever settings that you might want to change it to. And again, you can sort of just hover through it, like, you know, raw image quality, noise, framing, battery, resetting the camera brightness of your LCD screen. All those types of things are all visible within your menu, and they are, you know, sort of kind of, they're there for you to have a look at and to change whatever you change. You know, you might not necessarily change all these, but they are all there for you to go through. Color balance, for example. Again, if I scroll down, recent settings, this is quite a nice feature. It tells you what recent settings that you changed. So there are, for an entry-level camera, quite a lot of settings on this camera for you to sort of play around with. I personally don't like this camera, and I don't want to go on a negative, but because the menu is very cumbersome and it's not touchscreen and it's not quick enough for me. ISO is very low, and I don't particularly like this, to tell you the truth. I find I'll be forever doing that. It's a bit too slow for me. I need it to be much quicker than that. I quite like the Canon where you can hover up and down like this and you can see the visual in real time, which suits, I think, nowadays users more than this kind of platform. So obviously new Nikon cameras will probably have those features, but this is an old one. And it does have some limitations. So if you're looking to get an old camera just to get started, a D3100 is an entry camera that might be useful for yourselves. Then you've got all your connectivity over here as well, and you've got obviously your standard SD card slot over here as well, which you can just sort of pop in and it will pop out like this as well. Okay, so yeah, Nikon D3100. Let me know what you think. I think it's okay. It's not a brilliant camera. It's something that I would probably go onto Facebook Market and see if I can get it for about 50 quid or about $80, or, you know, not spent huge amounts of money on this, to say the truth. I would personally buy the second hand. I wouldn't buy a new one of these. But it's entirely up to you. Obviously, you're watching it because you're thinking about maybe getting an entry-level camera, and that's why you're watching this. And this might be suitable for your needs. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, please do post, and I'm happy to respond. Thank you. Bye.